Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Srijani, and the channel which you are watching right now is See with Sri. So, today I will be giving a speech on something which is very commonly discussed and something which always borrows element from science and chemistry. And of course, something which is a very common project topic for all of us as well, for our school students at least. Today, I will be talking about water pollution. I guess we all know what it is, what it stands for, and what are the effects of it. But we actually do not know how large scale this problem is and how essentially to combat it. So, today we'll be talking about something like that. So, first of all, we'll start off with some facts. So, 52% of the world's turtles have eaten plastic waste, and around 21% of these turtles have ultimately died after around a week. And 80% of the world's sewage goes into water bodies untreated. So, what are the basic causes of water pollution? So, first of all, we have global warming, which means that global warming is not just something which happens in the ozone layer or in the atmosphere and indirectly causes bad things to our health, but actually it is such a bad effect on water as well. For an example, coral bleaching, which means the fatal effect of corals dying and then turning extremely pale, is also a result of global warming because it ultimately leads to the rise in sea temperatures. Of course, after that, we have oil spills. We all know about the large scale oil spills, which are always happening. And although they are kind of unprecedented and not much can be done about it, but still, we as students can make a difference in these oil spills by funding several port checks when they are crossing the marine seas. I have funded several such websites, and you can just look them up and you can actually contribute a part of your pocket money into these, and you do not know how much of effect it will have when you are an adult around 40 years old, and that time you will get to see a clear ocean. Then, of course, we have ocean dumping. As you saw in my previous slide, Jacques-Yves Cousteau said that water and air, the two essential things on which all life depends, have become global garbage camps. We dump pretty much everything into the oceans, whether we know it or not. Even we are not segregating waste, we don't even know, but some of the materials which we throw into that wrong dustbin inadvertently ends up into the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. And also, fun fact, did you know that the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is the biggest landfill of the world, which is not even present in land? And trying to clean the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is, you can call it a huge floating island of waste. Trying to clean this will bankrupt any first world country like the USA or the UK. The picture which I have is just a small snippet of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Then, of course, we have sewage. So, sewage always ends up untreated. And if you are an important person in your community or in your apartment, then you can always cause a difference by convincing the other neighbors or the people who are the presidents of the apartments committee to do a thorough check of sewage before depositing them or sending them. So, what are the effects of pollution? So, as we all know, that pollution has several effects, and especially in water pollution, it has lots of effects on our daily lives. So, first of all, we have the destruction of biodiversity. Like I mentioned, coral bleaching before, then we also have several fish which are dying, and then finally, lots of biodiversity is lost. And it's not just an abstract concept which is lost. We have no idea how many secrets, how many discoveries, how many medicines, and how many resources were there in that one animal which we don't know about and has got extinct because before we could even find out about it, because we are so invested in filling the entire ocean with garbage in our pockets with money. Then, of course, there is a lack of potable water, which I think, me being a Bangalorean, has faced like a little too much of times. I don't even want to talk about it because then I'll start crying. Then we have waterborne diseases. So, like cholera, there was a major cholera outbreak several times in Calcutta, and there will be more cholera outbreaks if we do not cut down on the amount of pollution and do the little things which we can to prevent this. Of course, then it affects the food chain. Whenever you are having food, you're also drinking water, right? And while we get to check what our water has, the animals do not, and they end up consuming water which has pesticides and fertilizers and God knows what chemicals inside them. And this leads to a process called biomagnification, when several animals keep on feeding on the same thing progressively, and that chemical increases with time. And finally, on the top of the food chain, it's normally us humans. And when we consume that, we won't know. And that leads me to our second point, infant mortality and mortality in general. So a lot of babies are affected in the let's just say the lower socioeconomic groups who do not have access to that pure water. And of course, even normal adults will also sometimes face mortality because of biomagnification. Then how do you exactly prevent this pollution? So first of all, we have to use less plastic. Now, this sounds like a very cliche term and a very overused term for normal people who are like, plastic is fine, we cannot live without it. But environmentalists and people who are giving presentations on this cannot stress this enough. Please use less plastic because we never know when it will come back to bite and when it will come back to pollute and dirty your own homes. If you have to use plastic, then make sure it's not single-use plastic. I know for all other people out there who also have that one big plastic bag filled with tiny plastic bags, please get rid of them before it's too late. Secondly, we have to reuse items. Now, as you all know, the entire product chain these days is extremely flippant and it's volatile, and the entire product chain finally ends up in a landfill if it is not that useful. I'm begging you, please keep on reusing items, especially things like packaging, which leads me to my third option, recyclable options. So, as we all know, recently an important movie was released called Shrikant. There, they have also stressed the fact that packaging should be made green environmentally and it should also be repeatedly recycled. If the company is not doing it, then please, as consumers, we have to take up the initiative and we have to recycle again and again. And the fifth point is just don't litter. If you do that also, you are having a huge positive effect. Now the earth has reached such a point where even doing nothing can also be a good thing because everybody is trying to affect it in a negative way, whether they know it or they don't. And then the sixth point is less sewerage. While normal kids like me and you don't have much of a say in this, but still we can give talks to increase awareness, like the one I'm giving right now, or we can speak to elders and speak to members of a larger community who can actually affect this particular decision. So that's pretty much it. And this is also a collage which me and my teammates made in school for a particular project. And of course, we have Mahatma Gandhi's quote, which has been repeatedly said, but nobody can exactly stress this enough, which is the earth, the air, the land, and the water are not an inheritance from our forefathers, but on loan from our children. So we have to hand over to them at least as it was handed over to us. And we have to remember that we children are the owners of this land. And if the adults are not doing a good job keeping up the water or keeping up the earth, then it's our job that we step up and say that this is our earth and we have to take care of it and we have to make it proper. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for watching this particular video. If you have any other recommendations for any topics which I might present on or require any other help or any questions which you want to be answered, then please connect with me through the comments. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done till now. Thank you. Bye bye. See you next time.